guys, let me get to cooking here. I have a message for those in a period of isolation, season of isolation. I have been either processing my own or collective trauma around this Valentine's Day. It could be either or. When you're a 12th houser, it can be really hard to tell. I've been staying home handling chores today. It is Saturday, the 15th of February right now. This message is for at any time, but we are going to see the beginning of Pisces season any day now. So this theme of isolation is appropriate when it comes to the Pisces Virgo axis, which is where the North Node, South Node is right now. Plus the Sun, I believe Mercury is also in Pisces now. We still have Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. Pisces is a dissolution. It's a disassociation. It's an illusion. It's erosion. Have you ever tried to hold on to sand underwater at the beach? The harder you try to make a fist, the sand just pours out of your hand and between your fingers, out of the sides, and you end up with nothing. Holding on to what you know of Earth, stability in Pisces, is an illusion of control. Now, it feels like, I can describe how it feels. It feels just like a clench in my throat. Like I could cry, but I don't know exactly what I would be crying for because, like I said, I can't decide whose feelings are whose. So I have my energy. I've been praying about my energy. Been working on my vibration. Getting in a place where I can sit here and bare my soul for a second with you and deliver a message for the day. The service axis is Pisces Virgo. If you have 6th house or 12th house, Pisces or Virgo placements, you'll know exactly what this feels like. You have to give up a piece of yourself in order for the greater good. In either case, you might even have to give up either your ego or your ability to organize, your ability to make sense of things. Hey, everybody. So Pisces, Virgo, since you do have that service axis issue. In Virgo, you are collecting data, right? But you're organizing the data. It is ruled by Mercury. It is in the south. This is the South Node, though, so we are not using that talent that we have in this current now, even though we know we can organize things, we know we can make sense of things, we know we can make it clean, we know we can put it in order, but we are not using those talents right now. We are using our illusions, the going with the flow, art. Like I said, holding on to sand underwater. It's dissolving things as we try to get a grasp of it. In Virgo, we can get a grasp of it and put it somewhere, but Pisces does not allow that. But like I said, on either end of the axis, we're giving up something. It is the service axis. We're doing something for others. So it can be really hard emotionally right now. And you can be put into a season, a series of days, months. You might even be feeling this way for years or your whole life, where you feel like you have to process everything by yourself. People love you, but they see you as somebody so strong, so self-contained by now, that they don't check in with you to see how you're doing. You are not on the top of their list when they're planning little day trips. You are not on their, mind for little tiny things. They see you as a busy person who is capable, or somebody who has no need for them because you have other people at your disposal. Any way you look at it, people see you as fully capable of handling this thing, and you are finding, or there's just something about you and the way you live in your truth, your integrity, the way you do service for other people, the way you do put yourself out there, the way you are giving your authentic self. These things put people off as well. But in either case, you feel like you're being punished for it. You feel alone. And it sucks. We just had Valentine's Day. There's people around you that have somebody, even if it doesn't feel permanent to you, you are witnessing people pair up. Galentine's, having a lover, whatever. And you're not in that collective. You're in your period of isolation. And there is so much of you that is so tired of being here. But there's a reason for this. The thing is with Pisces, you won't know. It is a giant blind spot. The 12th house is ineffable. It is open enemies. People see the purity in you. And here's the thing. The opposite of love isn't hate. It's apathy. You might not be feeling logically alone right now. You might be feeling like people are treating you with apathy. So what are we going to do, Here's the thing about having faith in Pisces. It's also institutions, it's marriage, it's prison. It's self-destruction. It's also where you save yourself. It's how you be giving to society. It's how you be giving of yourself. It's how you receive spirit messages. Inspiration, art, like I said, does come through here. So you have to be in a space of the great unknown, expanded. This is where the North Node is at. Hi, Gemini. Claim this isolation, but maybe isolated and building a house here that no one can break. I'm a Gemini rising. I feel you, Lorraine. We have a he. This isolation is frustrating because there's lots of part of you that's really tired of it. Then there's the other part of you, like Lorraine just said, where you're enjoying it and you feel safe inside of it. There's a two-way street to this. It's hard to know because isolation can be intoxicating. It's hard to know if you're throwing up walls because this is the state you're in, this is the timing that you're in, or if you're trying to deny yourself of having to deal with pain and trauma. This is the fine line that we walk on here. Are we using this time to be in escapism, or are we using this time of isolation to tap in? Pisces can do both. 12th house Pisces can be addiction. It's a lot of things. It's all about how you use it. For me, the way I'm experiencing Pisces is my 10th house. So it's my drive to work is getting a little reshuffled right now. My clarity with my content that I make is under spiritual restriction by my guides, by God, by the universe. I couldn't be strategic about this if I tried. It's not for me to be strategic. My gifts don't even work for me. They work for you, though. They work for my clients. Shoot, I just tried to search for myself on YouTube and I couldn't find myself because my name is similar to a rapper's name. The Sui Generis Regenerator is similar to somebody else. And their content is flooding the algorithm, and I need to work on, little things like my SEO, ways that I can make myself more visible in the algorithm. I need to actually study how things work. I am not very strategic like that. That's 10th house things. However, I am going to be good with technology in a weird way. I always glue it together strange because in my chart, I have Mercury retrograde trine Uranus retrograde. And it's also conjunct Venus, the lower octave of Neptune, Pisces energy. I wind up figuring it out backwards. I'm also a 3-5 manifesting generator. Figure it out in a hinky-dinky, kinky, weird, like zigzaggy way. This is how it works for me. So when it comes to all this energy, it's very frustrating because there's a huge drive to be a workaholic right now. We still have Mars retrograde. Driving forward energy is not going to be successful. In some cases, finding inner peace in your home might even be difficult. Because how can you be difficult? How can you be plugged in at home if you're having difficulty feeling at home in your body? If you keep wanting to disassociate, which is Pisces, if you keep wanting to intoxicate yourself to where you're not processing your emotions. So this period of isolation is a gift. It helps us get caught up. I keep reminding myself fast is slow, slow is fast, because this speeding up during retrograde time can make mistakes. You can injure yourself. So in terms of safety issues, it's safer for you when it comes to turning your mind off. As weird as that sounds, we're still in Aquarius season. We want to know every fucking thing. But it's going to change into Pisces, which is, I believe. So what do you believe? Where's all that standing? Do you believe those little voices that are telling you that you're unlovable and that's why people aren't reaching out to you right now? Do you believe that you're being protected from distractions right now? There's lots of different ways to look at this. Do you believe that you might be being protected from a safety issue or some other kind of crazy happening? Or do you feel like you're being stunted, held back, dissolved, everything you thought you knew was being robbed from you? There's no purchase. You can't hold on to that sand underwater without losing it. Do you feel like you're treading water, just doggy paddling, stuck in a riptide? There's lots of different ways that this can feel. I'm not telling you how to feel, but isolation can make you feel crazy at a certain point if it's been long enough. And you might be feeling crazy. What else do you have to play off of other than your own psychology? Stir crazy. So what we need to do, then I'll get into some cards. I have them here, but I needed to get this message out. Just letting you feel seen for a second here, because when you're isolated, when you have had everything removed from you that brings you any type of good feeling, and you're sitting in it and wondering, questioning if it's worth it, if you want to keep going, if you want to switch gears, or if you want to just quit, rage quit, go into a hole, make yourself small. There's lots of different ways that you can feel. We'll get more advice, but from the cards, we'll pull some cards. But I do want to say, I made a video a few weeks ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago now, I don't know, where I was talking about swimming good. Talking about swimming past the breakers. And I think we're swimming past the breakers. I think we're having to go deep, deep, deep down under the waves right now. And that's what I'm feeling for this Valentine's Day, post-Valentine's Day vibe. I have some trauma around Valentine's Day. I don't know anybody who doesn't, to be honest. It's such a weird holiday being in the middle of Aquarius season. But what makes me feel uneasy about it is my father left my family on Valentine's Day when I was 8 years old. And it taught me immediately that if he could leave me on Valentine's Day, there's nothing safe about Valentine's Day or any other holiday. And I really liked Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day was my favorite holiday. But I realized that love hurt that day. Love had the potential to hurt. And that's a trauma that I work on all the time. I live with my dad now. I'm his caretaker. So I work on that every day, but it pops up every year. So, I know I feel that, but I also feel more. So I'm sitting here talking to you guys because there's somebody that needs me to hold their hand today who is feeling marginally self-destructive. If that's you, I'm here for you. You don't got to feel alone in this moment. Spirit of angels, truth, love, light, and benevolent darkness, I ask that you help me cleanse my energy and be of service to those that need it today. The moon is now in Libra. We need to be able to see as many sides as possible and somehow reconcile them into something that brings us justice, sense of fairness, sense of balance, equanimity. I ask that you remove my ego, so at least for a few minutes while I do this card reading, so that I can deliver the messages without getting a bunch of feelings involved, without clouding any of the messages with my own perceptions. I ask that you use my vocabulary. You have full access to my faculties if you need to use them. All I ask is that I get a message for the people today that really need it. Meditation, journaling, nature, remedies. Also, take baths if you can. Drink hot tea if possible. Keep a close eye on your kidneys, on the electrolytes, your minerals. Make sure you're moving your lymphatic system. 4 cards. Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. I let them tell me how many cards to pull. I know there's a lot of people that do Celtic crosses. I just do what I do. If you feel like it, if you're watching, like, share, subscribe. I ask that I get 4 cards for the people in isolation that have a tension in their chest, that need more than ever to feel seen. I'm here for you. I want to deliver a message for them. People who have done everything they know how to do correctly, and they are in a really good place with their integrity, but they just haven't made that break yet. Feeling very, very alone, very isolated. I want cards for them. I'm kind of smiling because I'm excited. I think these are going to be good cards. I don't take reversals in this deck. This is not, this is a joke from Spirit. This is, each time you shuffle, these cards, the arrangement of these cards are in their mathematical shuffle arrangement. This arrangement would never exist twice, ever. The ratio of this happening where the cards come out just like this is crazy, astronomical. These cards came out the way they came out for a reason. I'm talking about isolation, and we start with the Hermit card. This is the very card of isolation and pulling back. This is the wise, gifted guru that you go visit on the top of the mountain. He's the crazy mountain man. Seen it all, heard it all, lived it all, withdrew from everyday life in order to marinate it, transmute it, become wiser. And then with the Hermit card, we have the King of Swords. Very buttoned down, matter of fact. This man knows how to use his sword, his knowledge, his guidance from the other side, his wisdom, his patience, his ability to change his mind. He's got a butterfly button. I've never noticed that before. And a little moon on his tie. This man, this King of Swords, knows when to retreat, when to charge. He has his phases locked in. This is intellectually knowing that this period of isolation is what's right for you right now. This is the sacrifice. He reminds me of a missionary that's sort of initiating you into a spiritual realm. He looks very much like missionaries of my grandfather's era. The 40s. Two more cards over here. We have a King of Pentacles. Another king. That's why I made that face. And we have another Swords card. So we have a repeating pattern. This is the King of Pentacles. This is a man who's wearing a star, of course, on his lapel, which is not just a pentacle, but it is a pentacle meaning money. We have what looks like, to me, a Picasso in the background. And then a castle, painting of a castle. We have fine art. He's wearing his beautiful blazer. He looks like he's walking right out of Dynasty, the old 80s TV show. He's just left his Aston Martin. His driver's waiting outside. He's dripping in money with his pinstripe shirt. So, again, this is about knowing that anything worth, I'm hearing, this is giving me such peace. Anything worth anything takes time. It does take a level of strategy, but the strategy does not have to be everybody else's strategy if you're not a strategic thinker. It can just be merely knowing, deciding what your fate is, regardless if it makes sense for everybody or not, and figuring it out on the way. It doesn't necessarily have to be making all the right moves as you get there. Very often, you have to make the moves, be adaptable, in the way that this is a withdraw move, right? So you might have to be adaptable with how you withdraw. It might not be a total and complete no contact disappearance. You know what I'm saying? This is about fine-tuning your energetic output, becoming familiar with your value and only mixing with things that increase your value, not decrease your value. Knowing that the withdraw period, the holding back, can increase your value. The exclusivity of your energy and presence being withdrawn turns it into something more expensive, more rare, more contained. He kind of looks like Henry Rollins, though. Does he not? I love that. So the last card, we have the Nine of Swords. I think this is telling us, like, even though we, again, have to deal with our mental energy with the King of Swords, we have so much going on. The Hermit is really where the spirituality element and the major energy comes from. This is the major arcana card of the pole. So when it comes to having boogeymen at night, insomnia, indecision, concerns, worst case scenarios, whatever, what have you, playing through your mind, there's this delicate dance between being earthy, withdrawing, knowing your worth. What are you going to do when you're crying and you're feeling fucked up? Well, you have to utilize your time and sort of really get into why it is you might feel the sensation of suffering in this moment mentally. Quite often what happens is we get in our heads too much. And we feel a sense of dread because we think we're going to have to relive some of our worst circumstances that we've ever lived through. If this happens, it means this. We assign meanings. Jack Sparrow said, the problem isn't the problem. The problem is your attitude about the problem. The problem isn't the problem. The problem's your attitude about the problem. You have to decide if you're secure or insecure or not. You have to decide if you have a value so great. You know, we get into this FOMO thing. We have a fear of missing out or a fear of being forgotten if we don't put ourselves in other people's faces. And I feel like this is sort of what's going on here. There's a fear I feel that withdrawing might make people see you less powerful or less somehow. But it's not possible. I'm going to pull one more card. I think this is just about your perception and what you think you're worth, what you think about yourself. You're projecting it as concerns on other people when your self-beliefs about yourself is trash. One more card to help clarify, I guess, the Nine of Swords. Give me more character about the Nine of Swords. Justice. Okay. Justice. I was just talking about the moon being in Libra and having to use our integrity here. So, Nine of Swords clarified by the Justice card. You can't ask people to meet your standards, but you have to know what you're worth. And there's a chance that you might be torn in two because in order to be well liked, you might have to compromise some things that are about your integrity and your self-worth. And you're upset because you're concerned that it will decrease your value. You're concerned that you're going to lose the investment in momentum that you already have. You're concerned that, like it's happened in the past, people won't see your value. You need to care less about that. You need to say so fucking what about that. This justice does not give a fuck if people like her or not. She's out there to kick some fucking ass. She's a strong black queen. Justice. Look at that. She don't give a fuck about your feelings. She cares about what's right and what's wrong. And if things aren't being matched correctly, if your energy, if her energy, my energy isn't being matched, why are we sitting here concerned about that? Why? Just keep it moving. Because we know our value. We know what we've earned. We know how we've ruled our days and our nights and the steps we've taken to be kings in our own right, regardless of our sex. We know that we've submitted to the withdrawal, submitted to the isolation. As a sacrifice in order to be more wise. So the wisdom comes from knowing this part doesn't matter. The wisdom is practicing your way through this. Playing through. Like, this is, to me, it's like I'm playing miniature golf and you hit a trap of some kind and you have to get out of the trap. This is just a trap. This is just a waste of time. The issue is our own head slowing us down. We have to be in a better state of coherence and we can't be out there slashing and burning because we fucking blame other people for our own emotional weight. Our tendency to take things personally is a problem. When we have so much more value than that with the King of Swords and the King of Pentacles. So that's why this period of isolation, this sacrifice of company has happened. This distraction. Because we're taking it too personally. Which makes me feel weird to say. I'm not sure why. I don't like to victim blame, that's why. I'm not necessarily seeing a victim here, though. Not necessarily seeing a victim. Absolutely not. No victimhood here. Just seeing a person who might have an issue with the identity of a victim in their mind. Some concerns outweighing the need to be spiritually whole, the need to know you're the shit, the need to say so fucking what. This is the only card in here that's causing any kind of worry, and it's just something a little meditation could fix, to be honest. So, look, introspection's good. Take a second. But even post blogs if you must. But try to get your energy diffused somewhere. Whether it's, writing down notes. There's so many different ways to connect with yourself. Get some sunshine. Because really, what's in the dark is going to just keep you going crazy. You got to shine a light on it. You don't have the full picture, so your brain is playing tricks on you. If it was a full picture, we probably have the Ten of Swords, and you would absolutely be proven that the worst has already happened. But all we have here is the fear of the worst thing happening. And some pretty decent cards on either side of them. So play with that what you will. So that's it for now. I'm going to go. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. I don't know who watched the whole thing, but there's been somebody sticking around. So I just wanted to say an extra thank you. I appreciate you. Maybe one day I'll figure out who's watching my lives. I want to wrap it up, but I don't. There's a season for everything. And if this sacrifice is here for us right now, we would do much better to accept it and move forward with this energy, knowing that right now is your period of isolation, and to stop holding out for anything else to happen. Which I've been doing, I've had so many days where I went blank, and I've had zero expectations and zero thoughts, but they do come back. They do come back. And you do have still moments and you're like, I wish I could share this with somebody. But it's not time yet. Decide it's going to happen. And then let it go. It's going to happen eventually, and then let it go. That's the most loving thing you can do. All right. So that's pretty much it for now. I love you guys. This is long enough. 4444. I think it's a good time to stop after seeing 4444. 40 minutes and 44 minutes and 44 seconds. I'm not good at numbers. All right. That's it. I think I'm going to come back and do a weekly, maybe tomorrow. So if you want to see the weekly tomorrow, follow. And you can come back to my live. Make sure you have the notifications turned on. I'll be back. I love you guys. I hope this helped you make you feel a little less alone, a little less put out to pasture. We're all in it together. It's for good reasons. Just know your worth, know your value. Decide these things now. I love you.